just with reintegrating Caitlin, do you anticipate her to be available tomorrow?
I anticipate, if there's no setbacks, after today, I anticipate her being available, yes.
Steph, what have you seen out of the group without her that kind of, as you started this reintegration process, you've learned about this group since Caitlin with the 8 or 9 rotation you played?
Yeah, first and foremost, our defensive energy and effort had been really good. Our mobility, our activity level, our ability to execute schemes for the most part had been really good. We've had defensive versatility. And I loved offensively how the ball's moving, how multiple players are getting touches. We're moving it side to side. We're getting high percentage looks. And that's part of just conversations as C gets back on the floor. It's, hey, look at what we were doing really well, making sure that there's a high attention to detail for that. I thought, particularly on the defensive end, prior to her initial injury, she was good on the defensive end. She was really solid for us on the defensive end. We need that from her. And her ability now, I think, with Ari on the floor to be able to play some off the ball, maybe take some pressure off, not as demanding when she's being hounded 94 feet, and to try to get her some high percentage looks off the ball as much as with the ball in her hands.
Playing QB tomorrow?
Sorry, what was that?
Playing QB tomorrow?
Oh gosh, it'd be nice. It's a tiny football. You could chuck it a mile long.
What have these last few days felt like for you leading into tomorrow's game?
Yeah, I think it's just nice to get back out there and get to the flow of, playing with my teammates again. And, it's gonna be fun to get back out there, hopefully, and just feel things again. I think, I don't know what type of minutes I'm going to get will look like, but just when I'm out there, compete, play hard. This is going to be a team that's going to be moving constantly. So just being aware and active, bring energy. And yeah, I think that, it's obviously hard sitting out and watching for a few weeks. So I'm definitely excited to get back out there.
Steph said yesterday you're not a fan of minutes restrictions. How do you anticipate all that actually going when you play more?
Yeah, I hope to play a decent amount, maybe upper 20s. I guess it just depends how I feel and how the game goes and, what the team needs as well. But, yeah, I feel pretty good, but probably going to try not to overdo it as well and put myself in a good position moving forward.
How has Ari's addition kind of changed that vibe with this defensive group?
Yeah, she's as active as they come. She's going to be aggressive. She's going to pressure you. She's going to have her hands in passing lane. She's going to cause a little bit of havoc out there, and I think that's exactly what we need. And she's going to pick up pole, and, I know that well. She guarded me a couple times last year, so I think she's been tremendous for us, honestly.
Caitlin, how much are you just looking forward to being on the court with Ari?
Yeah, I think it'll be great. Obviously, I haven't played a game with her, I don't think, at least. She's kind of been here when I've been out, so I think it'll be great. I think it'll be nice to play with another point guard who can, read the floor really well and, get me to come off a few screens rather than, just playing out a ball screen mostly. And, we're still going to do a lot of that and play in transition and all that, but when we have an opportunity to run me off some screens, and I think that just gives the defense another thing they have to plan for, and we're not, as predictable as we may have been earlier in the season. So try some of that, but I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Steph has talked about kind of taking some pressure off you with Ari kind of running point in some actions and you playing off the ball. Just how do you think that will help when you reintegrate onto the court?
Yeah, it'll be nice probably not to have to bring the ball up against pressure 94 feet. But like I said, that's what I'm best at. So we're still going to do a lot of that. It's, I think, finding a balance and finding the ways to give the defense different looks and, me becoming a better screener and being a good screener and coming off of screens and screening for Kels and, all that different type of stuff that's a whole nother layer of things that the other team has to prepare for. So, like I said, I feel like it makes us less predictable. And, you're still going to see a lot of the same things that we do, but at times, move us off the ball, and especially out of timeouts and drops, maybe not so much our live flow and our live play. I think we'll be solid.
Given that you never really missed time, has this been one of the more difficult stretches of your playing career?
For sure, no doubt about it. I think it's been challenging mentally, just staying in it, and you're way more busy when you're hurt than when you're coming in and all you do is scout film and come out here and walk through things. So I'm in here hours and hours on hours trying to get my body right and do everything I can to put myself in a position to be available the rest of the year, and that's certainly my goal, and I feel good about that. And but yeah, it's definitely challenging. And I think it's been so challenging because I've never been through it before. So just giving myself grace as I continue to come back and get my feet under me. And but I think it's also been an amazing opportunity for myself too, and allowed me to learn a lot. And I think when we get to the end of the year and get here in the playoffs, I think this is gonna be a moment where I can look back on and be really proud of myself for everything that I went through and how I've dealt with it.
Caitlin, you've been on the J-Dub before.
Yeah.
What do you think now that you've seen the finished product for this?
It's enormous. It's a little overwhelming. I mean, you look up there, it's pretty big, but it's certainly cool. And I've said this before. I'm like, anytime you get on the JW Marriott in like Indianapolis, it's like a huge deal. Like, that's prime real estate for ads. But yeah, it's certainly really cool. And you know, we're obviously really excited to have All-Star. And I guess everybody got to watch ESPN or WNBA Countdown tonight to see my team. I know my team, but I'm not gonna say anything yet. So.
자, 방금 픽이 끝났습니다. 케이틀린 선수는 당연히 얼리어 버스턴 선수를 제일 먼저 뽑았고 나피사 선수는 자기 파트너인 브리아나 스튜어트를 뽑았습니다. 클락 팀에는 서브리나 요네스쿠, 에이자 윌슨이 있어서 와, 이들의 시너지도 좀 궁금하네요. 페이지 선수는 나피사 팀으로 갔습니다. 네, WNBA 올스타는 7월 19일 인디아나에서 하니까 뭐 그날 한번 보겠습니다. 그리고 오늘 인디아나 피버에서 행사가 있었습니다. 치킨 샐러드 칙이라는 곳에서 아마 치킨과 샐러드를 파는 곳인가 봅니다. 뭐 LA는 없어서 어딘지 모르겠습니다. 이곳에서 사인 행사가 있는데 전에는 렉시헐 선수와 브리아나 터너 선수가 참여한다고 했는데 이제 브리아나 터너에서 에이리 맥다널 선수로 바뀌었습니다. 사람들이 브리아나 터너 선수 방출된 게 아닌가 하고 해프닝이 있었습니다. 뭐 그냥 느낌에 개인 사정이 있어서 참여를 못한 게 아닌가 합니다. 하지만 이 선수 지금 못해도 너무 못하고 있죠. 그런데 이곳이 지금 대박이 났습니다. 어마어마한 인파가 몰렸다고 합니다. 와, 이 줄을 보십시오. 대박이지 않나요? 와, 근데 인디아나 피버가 렉시얼 선수를 엄청 굴리네요. 여성용품 선전도 그렇고 와, 아무튼 예, 대단합니다.
Just by being on the floor. But I think the gravity of her ability to score and now our ability to use her off the ball will open up the paint for our down the